basketball from the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey. The 18th ranked Connecticut Huskies get set to meet the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Good evening, everybody. Kenny Albert along with Jim Spanarkel. A look at the Big East standings. UConn tied for third with a record of 8-3 in the conference, 16-6 overall. Rutgers just 2-10, an overall record of 8-14. And Jim, Connecticut coming off a double overtime victory over Providence on Tuesday, and tonight a homecoming of sorts for Charlie Villanueva out of Blair Academy here in New Jersey, a former co-state player of the year.
And when you think, Kenny, about this Husky team, you think size, and they do have a great front line, and he's one of the players, Villanueva, that has to get involved early and get some points. When he scores well and scores early, this is usually a very difficult team, the Huskies, to beat.
A look at Villanueva's numbers in the win over Providence on Tuesday. Now, one of his teammates, the Huskies' leading scorer, Rashad Anderson, still in the hospital recovering from a skin abscess, but Anderson is improving. In fact, the entire team visited with him on the way down to New Jersey yesterday. Now, on the other side, Rutgers, Jim, they are struggling. Scarlet Knights have lost 11 of their last 13 games, led, however, by Quincy Doobie, averaging 15 points a game.
And is coming back in the last 3 games in particular. He was in a shooting drought before that, but he's the guy that really has to get involved at the end of basketball games. Look for Rutgers to try to keep this close here in the rack and then get the basketball to him at the end of this ball game.
Second meeting this season, UConn beat Rutgers by 11 earlier. It's the Huskies and the Scarlet Knights coming up next.
Take advantage of great finance and lease rates only until February 28th.
Welcome you back to the rack in Piscataway. Just moments away from UConn and Rutgers. Jim Calhoun's Huskies with a record of 16-6. Jim just 4 wins shy of 700 during his 33-year career. Gary Waters on the other side of his 4th season as head coach at Rutgers. He won his first game against Connecticut back in January of 2002 by 8-1-3 overall against the Huskies. Connecticut 8-3 in conference play, including a 5-1 road conference record, Jim.
And the thing about this game, Kenny, is just size it up. Obviously, Rutgers, as we touched on in the open, struggling right now over this last 13 games or so. But the energy level here, the first thing you do notice, and we've done a bunch of games here this year with Rutgers at the rack, it's much more lively right now at this point, the beginning of a game, than it has been. So the fans are ready for the Huskies. Let's see if the team is ready for them.
Rutgers has already lost 6 games here at the rack this season after going 16-2 at home last year. One of those 2 home losses last season at the hands of UConn by just 1.
A very good, sound, man-to-man defensive team, the Huskies. They shut you down deep also, so we'll watch for drives to the basket to be contested all night long.
This is Ollie Bailey, and the freshman out of Chicago gives Rutgers the 2-0 lead.
And as a freshman, it's always good in big games to get one under your belt early, give yourself a little confidence, but then stay within your energy level. Rutgers in a 2-3 right now.
Marcus Williams from three. He has been hot. He has now hit 13 of his last 22 from behind the arc.
And the thing about him is he's done a terrific job also of passing the basketball, keeping this team under control. Leader in assists for the Big East.
Quincy Doobie, nice touch.
A good start for Rutgers right now. A little variation, patience with the basketball.
Josh Boone in the paint, and he is called for traveling.
Pretty good step across just then by the back line there underneath the basket. The big front court players for Rutgers. Bailey a factor, Joins a factor.
Rutgers coming off a 10-point loss to Boston College on the road on Wednesday. Scarlet Knights actually had a lead in the second half.
They've had runs where they've played good basketball for spurts in games, but just not very consistent.
Doobie for Bailey.
Yeah, Boone was a factor. Another factor there. Forcing them to change shots. They may not block them all, but it's also getting them to hurry and miss shots because of the deflections.
Huskies lead the nation in block shots. They average 10 per game.
Yeah, 10 a game is enormous.
And Marcus Williams, the sophomore from Los Angeles, hits his second three-point field goal.
And most of the time you hear Marcus Williams' name as you're talking about assists. The assist leader, as I just mentioned, has put up 2 games this year of 16 assists. And he is coming out shooting the basketball very nicely to start things off.
This is Joel Wiggins starting once again for Ricky Shields, who begins the game on the bench. Wiggins, Doobie in the backcourt with Marquise Webb, Ollie Bailey, and Byron Joins. Webb with a prayer, rebounded by Villanueva. And a foul. The officials, Jim Burr, Jim Haney, and Joe Lindsay. Foul called on Byron Joins. A look at the starting lineups. Williams with Villanueva, Denham Brown, Rudy Gay, and Josh Boone for Connecticut.
A lot of good parts on this Connecticut basketball team with guys like Gay, who's a freshman, one of the up and rising stars at Huskyland.
Gay's 3 attempt, in and out, rebounded by Bailey. UConn leading 6-4 as Wiggins is called for traveling. Rutgers does not turn the ball over very often. They average only 12 turnovers per game. That has not been a problem this season for Gary Waters' club.
Yeah, and this is one of the best defensive teams that they're playing against. So Gary Waters knows that he has to have limited turnovers. If you're going to turn it over, which you never want to do, turn it over just like Wiggins just did then. No damage done on the walk, so you're not turning it over via the steal and so letting the Huskies go up and down on you.
Kevin Brown hits the 3, the third three-point field goal for UConn the first 3 minutes.
And since he's been starting over the last 7 games, his productivity has gone up dramatically from his reserve role. So once again, another part of this Husky lineup that's working for Jim Calhoun.
Brown averaging 12.5 per game as a starter. UConn leading by 5. Joins backing in on Josh Boone.
Nice ball fake.
And Boone is called for a foul, his first.
As good as they are at blocking shots, I still think you have to challenge. And it was a nice setup just then. Good ball fake, getting Boone to leave his feet, and not only leave his feet, but also come towards the offensive player.
So Byron Joins to the free throw line, 68% from the line this season, coming off a career-high 12 rebounds in the loss to Boston College on Wednesday. Our first substitution, Hilton Armstrong, the junior out of Peekskill, New York, replaces Josh Boone, who just committed his first personal foul.
I got 21. Chop.
Second free throw from Joins is good, so the UConn lead is 3 with Boone now on the bench.
Going to go Rutgers' way. Good deflection there in the middle of the floor. Rutgers changing their defensive pressure just then, going full court, looking for a trap. They're the keys. Don't let the Huskies run up and down the floor. Don't let them pick the tempo up. They're very, very good in transition. They've been that way for Jim Calhoun's career at Huskyland.
Doobie had his shot rejected by Armstrong. So Boone comes out, and his replacement with the block.
Well, that's the thing. You know, they have Boone, who blocks a lot, Villanueva, but the other guys help out with the block shots also.
The Huskies blocked 16 shots in that first meeting with Rutgers back on January 15th. Game won by the Huskies, 78-64.
Yeah, I don't think that doesn't make you second-guess yourself sometimes coming through the lane, knowing that they've blocked that many and continue to block that many night in and night out. 4 on the shot clock right here.
Williams into the paint.
Little indecision by Williams just then. Not sure whether to go off the glass or try to go for the straight switch. Whoa!
Doobie thought he saw a lane. And Rutgers will retain possession, but first, a timeout. 4.5 gone by in this first half. It's UConn leading Rutgers by 3. A look at Charlie Villanueva. Had a double-double here at the rack as a freshman last year. 15 points, 12 rebounds. Couple of substitutions. Antonio Kellogg has checked in for Connecticut. And Ricky Shields coming off the bench for the 4th consecutive game for Rutgers.
Hoping that Shields does what he did against BC. 16 points off the bench against Boston College.
Shields replacing Joel Wiggins, so Doobie and Shields in the backcourt with Webb and Bailey and joins. The steal by Devin Brown. And Brown takes it all the way.
Those are the types of turnovers you can't allow the Huskies to get because they're very, very good at going up and down the floor in transition. And they're strong to the basket also with their aggressive style of play.
UConn leading by 5. Bailey over Weaver.
Nice little step back just then by Bailey. One time inside, the other time stepping away. Take a look at the numbers. Rutgers hanging around.
Armstrong cross court. This is Brown.
Another good pass across court.
Joins with the rebound of the Rudy Gay miss.
Yeah, clearly they do not want to allow the Huskies to establish their game at the offensive boards. Down on the blocks as that goes the other way with the turnover. So they're going into a zone. Rutgers to force the Huskies to shoot the basketball from the perimeter.
Josh Boone checks back in for the Huskies, and Ryan Thompson, the junior out of Australia, checks into the game with just under 6 minutes gone by. UConn leading by 3. This is Thompson. Huskies working around.
Going to get the ball into the middle of the floor as much as they can. Jones keeps filling that up pretty nicely, though, for Rutgers. Number 21 in the middle.
10 on the shot clock.
Fans like the defensive effort in the zone right now so far.
Kellogg into the paint.
There's Jones again.
The shot with just 2 on the shot clock. And it's saved by Armstrong.
That was an odd one just then because Webb went after the basketball. So did Shields. And it looked like the ball went right between the two of them, Kenny.
Armstrong in perfect position. And the Huskies with a new 35.
And then after a good set, you're right, they have to do it all over again. And now it worked for almost a minute now defensively.
Brown regains control. Again, 10 on the shot clock.
Once again, fans showing their appreciation for the defensive effort right now.
Brown from 3 after the Huskies control the ball for over a minute.
Brown for 3.
Right. And then when you look at it, they're going to shoot the ball that well from the outside. 4 of 7 so far. A trademark for this Rutgers team. The long ball, they have not gotten one off because the Huskies defend it well.
Marquise Webb from 3, no good. Rebounded by Boone. Connecticut with a 6-point lead. Brown and Williams have scored all 14 of the Huskies' points, and now the tip-in by Ryan Thompson off the bench.
Good quicks just then, getting to a nice spot. One of the difficulties of playing a zone is making sure that guys recognize bodies on the offensive end and block them out. Nobody got a body on Thompson. Quick little extension with the left hand there.
The Huskies' lead is 8. We approach 12 minutes remaining. First half. Quincy Doobie.
There's a lot of traffic in there. Nice drive by Doobie, but boy, the blue shirts really collapse the floor and start going after the basketball.
Boone double team, gets it back out to Brown.
Good quick kick out too by Boone right there. He double teamed in the blocks, get it out, keep it moving. Double teamed again, good cross court pass.
Tilted Armstrong, and he draws the foul. It's number 2 on Byron Joy.
That's excellent work by Connecticut against the zone.
There's a timeout on the floor.
We welcome you back, and we welcome those of you who have just joined us from the rack in Piscataway. UConn, 18th ranked, leading Rutgers by 8. Tilton Armstrong at the free throw line. Only a 52% free throw shooter.
Good shot, play it.
Connecticut still without their leading scorer, Rashad Anderson, hospitalized with a skin abscess. He is improving, and the entire team visited him in the hospital yesterday on the way down to New Jersey.
Speaking with George Blaney, the assistant coach at UConn, he mentioned that they brought a basketball to him, gave it to him, and the first thing he did was shoot the basketball. So it's good to hear that he's got his shooting ready to roll when he comes back.
Ricky Shields unable to hit for Rutgers, and Marquise Webb was grabbed. Foul called on Marcus Williams of Connecticut, his first.
Marcus Williams, his first second team foul.
Dan Waterstrat has checked in for Rutgers, the freshman. This is Waterstrat, had a big game against UConn back in January. Career high 9 rebounds. Waterstrat, Bailey, and Webb up front with Shields and Doobie in the backcourt. Marcus Williams.
Yeah, Waterstrat going for that tip. The offensive glass, then tried to deflect it back out once he could not get the ball to go down. No test at the defensive end, though. The Huskies, they make you work for everything.
And Nelson has checked in for UConn. So Nelson, Thompson, Gay, Boone, and Williams. Rudy Gay hits the 3, the 5th three-point field goal for the Huskies in the first 9 minutes.
And when you look at Rudy Gay, I mean, he's long. He's got the ability to drive to the basket and shoot the basketball very well from long range. 20 to 38 coming into the game tonight. With those numbers, boy, he's a tough guy against the zone.
Doobie from 3 off the mark. Rebounded by Gay. Connecticut with a 12-point lead. Nelson over Waterstrat. Does not get the roll. And it will be Rutgers basketball as Denham Brown checks back into the game for the Huskies.
Calhoun has made an adjustment against this 2-3 zone. More times than not, the middle of the court will be open against a 2-3. So right where the words the rack are, right there in the lane, watch for Connecticut to try to push a guy into the middle. That time it was Nelson. They get it there, they'll look for a down dunk unless they have an open shot from 15 or 13 feet away.
Here on the other end, Rutgers, they have missed 11 of their last 12 from the field. They trail by 12.
There's just not many openings in this defense. They're quick, they're long.
Webb found an opening.
Drilled in. Good decision by Webb just then. Marcus Williams on the right side of the floor didn't help out. The seam open, good recognition. Watch out. There's Josh Boone with the attempt of the follow. Fans are going to let him hear it now, but that was pretty sensational in terms of coming down the middle for a miss.
Boone leading the Big East in both rebounding and block shots. He'll remember that one. 10-point UConn lead. And Shields throws it away. And Charlie Villanueva checks back into the game for UConn as Boone takes a seat. Check that. Nelson will sit down. Boone inbounds to Marcus Williams.
We'll switch up defensively right now. Back man-to-man defense for Rutgers. They try to dump it down on the blocks.
There's Boone. Boone took it right to Waterstrat.
And a little down dump and then fake and come back to the middle of the floor. Pretty quick one move. The dribble by Boone, pretty quick. Very, very long to get his shots off down deep.
UConn again leading by 12. Marquise Webb throws it back out.
We have a pretty big guard, but he's got about 6'8", 6'9" on him.
Waterstrap with a rare three. He's now 0 for 6 from 3 as a freshman. Rudy Gay off the back of the rim. And Bailey was fouled. Going away, but went up and over the back, committing his first personal.
A good effort by Villanueva, but probably not the greatest decision because that ball was kicking away from him. He had a long way to go on it. And Rudy Gay shooting the ball from long range. Joins to come back in.
Along with Wiggin, Antonio Kellogg checks back in for UConn, replacing Marcus Williams. 12-point lead for the Huskies, ranked 18th in the nation. Connecticut with a record of 16-6. Rutgers at 8 up and 14 down. Ricky Shields. Second straight air ball.
Yeah, you don't see that too often with Shields. Brown is very strong. I don't think he got a piece of him on that shot, though.
Connecticut very patient. We saw them take the shot clock down twice in succession earlier. Marquise Webb is called for the foul. Made contact with Rudy Gay. It's Webb's first personal. And a timeout just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Connecticut leading Rutgers by 12. Welcome back. UConn leading Rutgers by 12 here at the rack. Time now to take a look at our Hyundai Cool Facts. UConn 83-5 in Big East road games since 1989. And Rutgers, we talked about their terrific home record last season, but this year only 6-6. The record for losses here at the rack since this building opened is 7, which they were tied with a loss today. They have not lost more than 7 home games in 50 years.
And it clearly has given the opponent coming into this rack this year more confidence, knowing that teams have beaten them. But the rack hasn't really been rumbling and as loud as it has been in years past. So it has helped UConn here, a good, solid basketball team that Jim Calhoun has. A 13-point lead right now.
Goings unable to hit, and Boone with yet another rebound, his 4th.
Nice look, nice run by Villanueva. Just coming down the floor in a hurry. Kellogg with the good delivery, 3-on-2. They spot you up. They take advantage of every little opportunity down the floor. If they have numbers, they're going to come at you and wave.
Ollie Bailey, he's rejected by Boone.
Well, Gate got there first. First guy in doesn't get the credit. Second guy usually gets the credit in the block, but a terrific setup there by Boone. Yeah, watch Gay now. See, Gay stops Bailey's initial drive, has to hesitate a little bit, so there's not a clear path to the basket. And look what happens. Boone comes in as the second guy and just gives it to Swadola on that one. We're down the offensive end, and you see Kellogg with a slip pass and Villanueva just tucking the basketball away from the defender and putting it in a tight 3-on-2 break, because you see there's not great spacing, but that's where the talent and basketball skills take over on the open floor.
Villanueva, born in Brooklyn, attended Blair Academy here in New Jersey. As a senior, the co-player of the year in the state. Named to the All-New Jersey team 3 times. Go on the inbounds, the slam by Rudy Gay.
Well, and you forget just how tall Rudy Gay is at 6'9", and they use it, the team, his height to their advantage, and boy, does he ever use it to his advantage, going in deep and also with a smooth outside shot.
Was that one of the easiest assists ever for Marcus Williams?
We'll take them all. Rutgers still continues to have problems getting shots off. Or uncontested shots, I should say.
Webb hitting the 3.
As the open floor. Oof. Oof. Oh, man.
No doubt about it that time.
They are picking it apart right now. The fans are booing with the name Boone, but a pretty good drive through the middle of the floor again.
Connecticut's lead is now 16. Villanova got a piece of it, kept alive by Shields of Rutgers. Shields from way out.
Well, down 16 and settling for that shot. Not sure that's the one Gary Waters wants. Nice look again by Williams.
Boone able to hit after the pressure from Byron Jones underneath.
Good smarts once again. That time with Boone. Didn't catch it very cleanly. Handled it, stayed underneath there. You have the 3 seconds to work underneath and put the ball away. Good smarts and good composure for him.
Connecticut now leading by 18. 5.5 left to play in this first half. Ricky Shields just inside the line. Rebounded by Ollie Bailey.
Everything's contested. Every single shot when they look for something. Whether it's on the perimeter or it's down low, Connecticut keeps the guns coming at you defensively.
Williams was fouled. Wiggin is called for his first.
Here we go upstairs for Rudy Gay with the one-hander. Pretty impressive. And here comes the slip cut by Boone on the delayed break. Williams with the handoff. Perfectly timed and well delivered by the big fella.
Quincy Doobie back in the game for Rutgers. Manny Casada has checked in as well. Connecticut on a 20-5 run.
Armstrong getting tangled up a little bit right there with Bailey.
Armstrong whistled for his first foul.
UConn personal number 11, Armstrong.
Rutgers with Wiggin, Doobie, and Casada in the backcourt. 3 guards in the game for the Scarlet Knights. Jones and Bailey up front. Wiggin watched tightly by Gay.
So this is one of the components defensively. You can put a guy like Gay, 6'9", out on the perimeter and guard the smaller guys.
Wiggin wide open from 3 off the front of the rim.
So they have so many different dimensions. Back in the 2-3 zone, Rutgers right now. Let's see if they go back to try to get someone to float through the middle of the floor, right where the words the rack are on the floor.
Brown from 3. He's got it.
Yeah, break down in the defense that time. Last few times in the zone, when the ball went to the wing, the lower guy in the 2-3 came out. Oh, brother. That time not there for Doobie. Here they come again. Nice
Jones, no pass. Villanova and the foul. Villanova will head to the line. Ollie Bailey commits the personal.
Well, George Blaney, the assistant coach, mentioned that Williams is just playing extraordinary basketball.
A 23-point Connecticut lead. Six points, 4 rebounds. Connecticut leading by 23 as we check out some top 25 scores. Illinois, Jim, now 27-0.
Yep, they have it all. They have the guard play, the perimeter play. They have down deep big guys. So Kansas, look at that one. Number 2 losing by a pair in overtime to Iowa State. Carolina showing that they can score some points. Michigan State, Tom Izzo with a win today. Some of the other scores, Cincinnati getting one at the bottom there by 3.
Charlie Villanueva completes the 3-point play, extending the UConn lead to 37-13.
And a big run over 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Good cut. Look at how they respond though.
Waterstrap with the hoop.
What looked like an easy layup for Waterstrap. He gets him to go down, but Villanueva's reaction forced him to slow it down just a little bit. And Rutgers has to find a way to chip away in this next 3:25 or so to get this thing down to a reasonable number at half. Nice ball fake. They're selfish though, aren't they, Kenny? The way they pass the basketball, make extra passes.
Certainly are. Foul called on Jimmy Inglis.
His first to 16.
His first as Josh Boone checks back in.
Josh Boone back in for
Villanueva will sit down with 5 points, 4 rebounds.
That's the middle of the floor again. Wow, that went the wrong way.
And now Joel Wiggin ahead of the field.
A little miscommunication that time. Jim Calhoun's squad looking to get one coming down the middle. Williams felt he was running out of time, flipped it out. That's just when Boone cut through the open middle of the floor. Rutgers gets an easy bucket. They'll take it.
Another UConn turnover. Here comes Wiggin.
They're going to get Doobie for three.
English to Wiggin. English again. And again.
There you go. Good work by Rutgers coming down the floor in a hurry. That was a very good shot by Doobie. Could not get it to go down. And then they worked the offensive glass a little bit. Jim Calhoun not happy with that effort defensively. Immediately calls timeout to get his troops regrouped.
And he will send Charlie Villanueva right back into the game.
Here's the pass with the fast break that goes over the head of Boone. Just a little miscommunication. Wiggin will take the easy one. One of the few open looks that Rutgers has had tonight. And here they come down the floor. Watch Wiggins go to his left. Doobie went to the right, so watch the long-range shot. He's such a good shooter that when he misses, generally, the ball comes off softly, allowing guys on his team to get offensive opportunities.
Each team has turned the ball over 4 times. Going away the back end, so going away with Nelson up front. Another UConn turnover. That's 3 in a row, and Quesada finishes it off.
Quesada will give this team some lift off the bench on occasion. Vance trying to warm it up a little bit right now. Down 16.
Scarlet Knights have scored 8 consecutive points.
You know, the goal right now is to get it down to about 10 by the half if you can, or better.
Villanueva, short.
There's a good job on the boards. A little guy rebounding.
Wiggin pulls up. English with the rebound.
I knew they got to call that. It's called the takedown.
Foul called on Rudy Gay, his first. So Jimmy English,
you know, Rutgers
go to the line.
Rutgers gets a break here because the shot may have been a little quick, but there's that pull down from behind. Rudy Gay with the reach. Jim Calhoun get on the treadmill a little bit over, start pacing a little bit back and forth.
English missed some time recently due to a left hand injury. 61% from the free throw line.
Terrific game up. BC hosting Syracuse tonight, off to a good start, up 5. Al Skinner has done a terrific job this year. I think they came in preseason pick, Kenny, if I recall. I think they were number 5 coming in. Skinner has been sitting on the top pretty much all season long.
Only 1 loss so far, 21-1. That loss to Notre Dame, a perfect 14-0 at home. Gay from 3. Villanueva strong on the boards. Waterstrap got a piece of it. A 3-on-1 for Rutgers. Doobie. It's good. And the foul.
Well, the long shots by the Huskies. Villanueva was distracted just enough by Waterstrap. Great job defensively. And look at the pacing. Good decision by Doobie to extend and put the ball on the floor. Brown with the foul, and all of a sudden the rack has changed the mood here a little bit. The Rutgers players much more confident. About 3 minutes ago, I was starting to think from a Rutgers perspective, like, oh boy, this could get real ugly and this is going to get real bad in terms of the first half, but they've fought back. Good job by Gary Waters regrouping his troops to challenge the UConn Huskies.
A 24-point Connecticut lead has been cut in half. It is now a 12-point game, thanks to 12 consecutive points from Rutgers.
And Rutgers have to keep making good decisions.
Villanueva.
Marcus Williams is very good at getting to the spot, and the timing of his passes, he's really delivering the ball well.
His first to 17.
I'll call on Quesada, his first, so Villanueva heads to the free throw line.
Rutgers over
Jim Calhoun down the other end. Jim Burr, the official, questioning whether or not it should have been a 2-shot foul rather than the 1-and-1. Rutgers now at the 7th foul. Jim Calhoun, smart character along the sidelines. Understands the game very, very well. Understands how to talk to the officials, work the officials, as most coaches do, but he's very, very good at it. Very good at understanding what he has in terms of talent for his team and how to use it.
Villanueva hitting both. First points for the Huskies in 2.5 minutes and puts it into the 12-0 Rutgers run. We approach 1 minute remaining. First half from the rack.
Doobie's trying to get a shot off. The gate is so long that it makes it difficult.
English. And the foul was called on Waterstrap, who made contact with Villanueva. It's his first. And Villanueva will head back to the line.
That's his first, the 8th team foul.
And they get the position on the defensive boards because of their size. The Huskies are very, very tough to get offensive glass against.
Charlie Villanueva, 1-and-1.
Villanueva coming off a terrific game, the double overtime win over Providence. In the overtime periods alone, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds.
Finishing up with 22 points and 10 rebounds for the game. And he's been up and down, though, the last 5 or so, Kenny. You see a 21-point game, you see a single digit, you see a 22-point game, another single digit. So if he can, as he was in January, the month of January, he was very, very good. His averages were consistent. They get consistent play out of him. That's vital, and that'll be very important to see how the Huskies end up a couple of weeks down the road.
Casada, Villanueva got a piece of it.
Shot clock of some sorts. Jim Haney's going to try to figure this one out.
Now the officials will talk it over. Jim Burr, Jim Haney, Joe Lindsay. Under a minute to go, first half. UConn leading by 16. Charlie Villanueva has scored the last 7 UConn points.
Number 5, Marcus Williams reports in for UConn.
They've adjusted the game clock now to 47 seconds from 55. For the Huskies, Josh Boone on the court with Rudy Gay, Marcus Williams, Charlie Villanueva, and Denham Brown, the 5 starters on the floor for UConn. 11-second differential. Huskies led by as many as 24 earlier in this first half. Down to 30 seconds and 18 on the shot clock.
Williams will try to penetrate a little bit. Start to go at about the 8-second mark. There we go right now. Just to find a little roll. Get the double team out front.
Shot clock winding down. Here's Boone. It's good and the foul. Jimmy Inglis made contact, the continuation, and Boone with a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, the good teams make good decisions. You see the penetration. 3 and 4 Rutgers players start to look. 2 of them collapse and step across. You see the step across. What does that do? That means that you're going to have guys open, and Williams will pick you apart if you release too quickly and stay.
9 points for Boone.
Rutgers needs to get a bucket here with 10 seconds left just to get a little more of a lift going into the locker room.
Casada is called for traveling. 5.1 seconds remaining as Marcus Williams checks in. Coming up, a look at great finishes in the Big East tournament, Big East scores and standings, as well as first half stats and highlights. That's all coming up at the half.
Williams will have a couple of dribbles right here. He'll have 3 or 4.
He spins, he shoots from 3.
Let's go. That would have counted if that went in.
Great job by Boone to get the shot away. Connecticut scoring the last 7 points of the first half, and they lead by 19 6 3-point field goals for the Huskies in the first half.
Six years, 3 national championships. 5 years, 5 national championships. A legacy of excellence, established more than 25 years ago, has elevated the Big East Conference to the very pinnacle of college basketball. And the best is yet to come.
Back at the rack as we get set for the second half. Connecticut with Villanueva, Brown, Boone, Gay, and Williams. Their starting 5. Rutgers with Joins, Bailey, Webb, Wiggin, and Doobie. Connecticut led by as many as 24 in the first half. Their lead as we begin this second half is 19 points.
Cross-court pass by Villanueva.
And Denham Brown, who led all scorers with 11 in the first half, with the first bucket here in the second.
Would anticipate that Rutgers will change their defenses a little bit, make Connecticut make some different decisions coming down the floor, but so far their decisions have been pretty good against the zone.
Joins off the front of the rim, rebounded by Boone, his 6th. Williams, who had 7 assists in the first half, and the Huskies will retain possession.
Williams missing that shot just then, but has a nice hesitation as he comes through the middle of the floor and really reads the defense as well. He allowed the Rutgers team to kind of funnel back under the basket to get that little 7-footer.
There's Boone, and he will head to the free throw line. Foul called on Byron George. It's his 3rd.
It looks like the Huskies going to start to establish once again their inside post play. They have a size advantage with Boone, with follow-up guys like Gay and Villanueva when he's shooting the basketball. So it's a long front line. It's big. And they go after the basketball, so why not get it down there?
Boone, only a sophomore out of Mount Airy, Maryland. Came to the Big East All-Rookie team a year ago, having an outstanding sophomore season.
11 double-doubles coming into the game.
Joel Wiggin takes it all the way.
Good upstairs.
I guess the only negative for UConn tonight, 2 blown dunks.
Exactly. See if Rutgers can take advantage, get the rack fans back involved here.
Wiggin rejected by Gay. That's the 5th block for Connecticut.
You know, that's the interesting part about Jim Calhoun's team, is that even that shot there by Wiggins, a little bit of a jump hook. I thought he was going to get that shot at least up to the rim. So long, though, as you take a look at 5 blocks by Connecticut, they contest everything.
Villanueva from the outside.
To get that going, a little 15-footer by Villanueva mixes his game up with the inside presence, and then you try to figure out how's the forward going to come out and guard him at 15 feet away.
Bailey.
Good work, though, right there. 2-man action by Rutgers. Bailey just floating to the elbow to get an open shot.
Rudy Gay, Joins got a piece of it. Villanueva rejected by Bailey.
Fans like the defense. And he double blocks. And the challenge is very good by RU just then.
2.5 in, second half. A 20-point lead for UConn. The steal by Boone. Williams. Fans thought he traveled. Good second effort.
Sure it was, because the spacing wasn't there for the Huskies going down the floor. They were very, very tight and actually turned a 3-on-2 almost into a 2-on-2 because they were compressed so much on the break. As you touched on with Williams with his own follow-up. Good judgment, good work.
Bailey with his back to the basket. Quincy Doobie from 3.
Nobody on the offensive glass. Villanueva just clearing the boards all by himself.
And now Villanueva from 3. Gets his own rebound.
Great pass.
What a pass to Gay.
That's just a great basketball play right there by Villanueva. Not only realizing that his shot was going to miss to the left side of the floor, tracking it, and at the same time, the vision to see 2 guys underneath the basket on the right side. Terrific play by Villanueva. Rutgers has to find some punch here, Kenny.
Yeah, and the fans here at the rack can only dream about what it would have been like had Villanueva stayed here in New Jersey. Villanueva called for a foul. His second.
Talented player, Villanueva. You know, at the beginning of the season, he was struggling. Back in December, I had their game against Rice. Just looked kind of lost on the floor back then. And, and watching him, you started to say, as a player in this game, you say, boy, this kid is lost. He doesn't have his confidence. January stepped up and had a very good January, and now up and down in February, but fairly consistent tonight.
Wholesale substitutions for Rutgers. 4 new players in the game. Waterstrand, Inglis, Shields, and Casada.
Gary Waters trying to get some life.
Shields chasing down. 4 minutes gone, second half. The Huskies have matched their biggest lead of the game. Here's Shields from 3.
Rutgers not getting the shots to go down, and part of it is the shots just are not falling for them, but they are defensively very good on the perimeters. Right up there, year by year, Huskies defensively on the 3-point shots, the best in the league, shutting people down long range. Good spacing again.
Denham Brown from 3, he's got it. His 4th 3-point field goal of this game.
And you see the way they plug the ball into the middle of the floor. The realization that if you get it inside or even towards the middle of the floor, the perimeter game becomes that much easier.
Prominent call against Casada. UConn by 27. Take another look at that. Beautiful pass from Villanueva to Rudy Gay. Welcome back. A 27-point UConn lead.
And Boone coming out defensively there to start the action at the offensive end. And a little tip in by Williams just then. And here's the pass, the extra pass inside, out. Brown from long range. 4 or 6 from 3. He's really shooting the ball very well as a starter. He shoots the ball at 36% from 3 as a reserve at 21%. Makes sense to me to have him start, right? That's the only stat we're going to look at.
Been terrific tonight. Brown with the nice pass for Armstrong, and he was tied up by English. It will be Rutgers basketball.
Rutgers possession.
Another opportunity there defensively for Rutgers to get a stand. 3-on-2 break once again, though, by the Huskies coming down. They really have it going when they get it out quickly. They get it going in the waves, and they come at you very quick.
Waterstrap sets the pit. Casada for Shields. Ricky Shields really struggling. He is now 0 for 6 tonight, including 0 for 4 from 3-point range. Coming off the bench once again, Joel Wiggins started the game. Marcus Williams from 3 on the other end. Williams with his 3rd 3-point field goal tonight.
And the rack, usually a difficult place to play. They are finding it very, very comfortable, the Huskies, and just methodically picking apart the Scarlet Knights tonight.
10 consecutive points for UConn, and Casada puts an end to that run.
Thompson down the floor for an opportunity for a layup if he could have caught it.
Thompson from 3. There's Boone. Connecticut back up by 30.
Boone went down hard just then. He's back up, coming down a little slowly. I think Jim Calhoun's going to give him some rest. See, over the years, Kenny, we've talked about it. The rack is a very difficult place to play. In the last couple of years in particular, the Rutgers team has relied on the long ball as you take a look at the rebounding numbers. Connecticut generally does pretty well, only out-rebounded, I believe, twice this year. But if the long ball is not working for the Rutgers team, they don't have the inside force to contend with a team like Connecticut, so it's going to be a long evening, as we're seeing tonight.
Here's Warner Strack. That's a two-point field goal, and a case in point to what you were talking about. Rutgers 16-2 at home last year, and they set a school record for three-point field goals.
And that's the way they play, you know, with Doobie, Ricky Shields, who's struggling from long range. Just not getting it. And right now, I mean, it's one of the things, the defense at the perimeter is very, very good. That's going to go the other way, I believe, yeah.
And Nelson is calling for the offensive foul. And you look at this 28-point deficit, you think back to just a couple of weeks ago, game against Villanova. Rutgers suffered their worst ever loss here at the rack by 33.
And you Jim Calhoun's team leading the country in rebounding margin at a +12.
They're at +8 tonight.
Here we go. It's showtime. All by himself. And he brings it back to an even 30. And I think the wind is just died down with the sails right now.
Inglis was held. Hilton Armstrong did not agree with the call. His second personal.
Somebody tell him they're up 30 right now.
His second to 14 foul.
Rudy Gay checks back in for UConn, replacing Denham Brown. Inglis. Nice move inside.
Well, good footwork just there. Baited Armstrong to the middle of the floor and then just stepped back. 2-1-2 look right now for Rutgers as they go upstairs again. Wow, just to catch that. Going away to go upstairs, using the hand just to kind of block it, the ball, so he can retain possession.
Webb draws the foul. It's number 2 on Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gay.
And you know, you think back to last year, Rutgers won 20 games. First 20-win season since 82-83, went to the finals of the NIT.
Rutgers led shooting 2.
Has to be wondering, where did it all go wrong? Where did it take a turn for the worse?
Well, Gary will probably tell you that as an excuse, but Hervé Lamanzana meant a lot for this club last year. Gave them a presence down low defensively. On the offensive end, could shoot the ball from long range, hit some big threes last year on this floor.
They lost Adrian Hill for the season. Yep, he would have been one of their key players this year.
And their underneath player, frontline player. Clock again, maybe.
Rutgers wishing for running time at this point.
Yes, good point. That's what they'll do in those rec leagues now, you know, let that clock run sometimes when the margin gets a little out of hand. Turn the scoreboard off. Can't do it here, though.
They have adjusted the clock to 12:02. Connecticut with a 28-point lead. Coming up next for the Huskies, they will host Notre Dame on Monday in Hartford. Then a road game at Pitt, and they'll finish up home against Georgetown and Syracuse. And then the fun begins.
Absolutely. Big East tournament is going to be just totally crazy, I think. No established victor as of yet for the tournament.
Charlie Villanueva coming right at you. It's hat night here at the rack. Bring yours, Jim?
I left it in the car.
What do you think?
You know, these 4 teams really have a great shot, but I don't think 8 are going to go. So somebody, you know, last 2 weeks of the season, they're going to get bounced around a little bit. I like Georgetown with the way they play at the offensive end. John Thompson III has them running their Princeton-style offense. Villanova, an interesting team, a big win against Seton Hall on Thursday night. And there's the turnabout for sure. Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt, Connecticut, all with their typical type seasons.
Connecticut, the defending national champions, their second title in 6 years. Record of 16-6. Their only conference loss on the road in South Bend.
And when you look at that with Pitt and Notre Dame getting Connecticut, you look at them tonight and you say, well, how can anybody beat this team? They look like they're loaded. They look like they have the depth. They're going up and down. They're playing strong at both ends of the floor. Well, that's conference play. That's why when we talk about who's on the bubble, a lot can happen over the next 3 or 4 games.
UConn by 29. Ollie Bailey over Charlie Villanueva, and it's rebounded by Denham Brown.
Yeah, they look to push the ball down the floor. Rutgers with pretty good balance.
Villanueva. Charlie Villanueva now with 17.
Solid move, though. He gets on that right, blocks like that. And one of the things that's interesting with him, how quickly he gets down the floor and establishes catchable position down there. Then when he gets it, he has the defenders sliding a little bit and very long and talented on the blocks. Not making it easy for Bailey on the blocks either.
Here comes Kellogg looking for Boone, but the pass goes astray as Marcus Williams and Ed Nelson check back in for UConn. Kellogg and Villanueva sit down. Williams with 7 assists back in the game, leading the conference, 4th in the nation, averaging 8 assists per game. Jim Calhoun says Williams is as good a passer as UConn has ever had.
They've had a couple of dandies too. They've had some good point guards over the years.
Shields, nice bounce pass for Inglis. And Inglis will head to the free throw line.
See how Inglis just then tucked his body down low. Now that's a big guy going to the basket trying to avoid getting his shot blocked. That's how fast they close the Huskies on you defensively. But he used the body and ended up getting to the line, so good results for him.
Inglis from the Caribbean island of St. Lucia. Played high school in both New York City and North Carolina. Played soccer as a youngster. Hitting 1 of 2 from the line. 10.5 remaining, second half. Glad you've joined us tonight from the rack in Piscataway. Josh Boone with the emphatic gun, and he now has 15 points.
That was a 2-2-1 defense that Rutgers posed long, about 3/4 court, and they picked it apart in a hurry, getting the ball to the middle of the floor. That's how you break a zone. Get it to the middle, get it fast, and then attack with your numbers down the other end.
Inglis backing it on Boone. Here's Shields, bottled up. Casada from 3. Manny Casada.
Here we go again, down the other end, though. Look at this. Oh, Gang with the catch. I thought that was to Brown. Wow.
Looked like a wide receiver gliding into the end zone.
Boy, was that ever beautiful. What a touch on the pass also.
All 5 UConn starters, Jim, now in double figures.
And that was, Kenny, on a after a made basket, too.
Yes.
Just to point that out.
Ollie Bailey.
Ollie Bailey for Rutgers. UConn 72, Rutgers 43. Denham Brown go good from 3, kept alive by Gay for Boone.
Fans thought Gay went over the back just then. He's so long, but once again, whether he did or not, questionable. But how about his reaction right after he pulled the rebound down, immediately looking down for an easier bucket?
Keep in mind that 33-point loss Rutgers suffered a couple of weeks ago here against Villanova. Their worst loss ever at the rack, their worst loss under Gary Waters in his 4 seasons. Jimmy Inglis.
He's working Boone a little bit on the blocks. Boone, a shot blocker. Rutgers not getting back. Throw away there by Gay.
Jim, Rutgers with more points from their bench than from their starters tonight. Substitutions as Waterstream checks in along with Byron Joins. 74-45. As we check out other scores, Boston College now by 5 in the second half over Syracuse. BC with just that one loss at the hands of Notre Dame.
An interesting test for them tonight.
Marquise Webb. Three-point field goal, his second of the night. Now has 10 points to lead the way for Rutgers.
Rutgers sliding back into his zone again, this time a 3-2 look. That will help UConn to take time off the clock.
Brown thought about shooting the three, now pulls out. Quesada back the other way. To Shields. Got the line by Webb. Quesada pulls out from three, he's got it. 10 points off the bench for the freshman, Manny Quesada.
He has given Rutgers some lift off the bench tonight. He's done it a few times this year already, so plays hard, aggressive. He doesn't look at the scoreboard. Long way to go, though, for Rutgers to make a run here.
Quesada, the USA Today Player of the Year in Washington, D.C. last season. Foul called on Quesada, his second. 7:16 remaining here at the rack. UConn having some fun tonight. 23, time now to take a look at our BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game.
And we've had a couple tonight, but Charlie Villanueva just finishing it off. The BMW Ultimate Drive of the Game right there, and very easy for him. We've seen some spectacular dunks tonight. That's him checking in a moment. Nice evening tonight, though. 17 points, bunch of boards, and 2 assists.
And Nelson to the free throw line. Junior out of Fort Lauderdale, transfer from Georgia Tech. He was the ACC Freshman of the Year 3 years ago. Gives UConn yet another big body.
Sure does. Big, strong body. A guy who can come in and at times when the front line is playing earlier in the season a little lackadaisical, he gives you this kind of work right here. Even though he stepped out on the baseline just then, he comes in and gives you some energy, some excitement. He'll bounce some people around.
Nelson sits down. Villanueva back in. Quesada controlling for Rutgers. He has 10 points off the bench in the backcourt along with Shields, Webb, Waterstrat, and Joyce up front. And Marquise Webb, only a 24% shooter from three-point land, hits his third of the game.
It's been a struggle this year for him shooting the basketball, so it's good to see him to get a few to go down for Rutgers.
Webb once scored 60 points in a high school game for Patterson Catholic. Rutgers with the last 11 points.
I wasn't guarding him.
Pretty short.
Although I've had guys go for big numbers on me in my career. Nice look again. See Webb go to the basket right now.
He scored the season high 16 in the earlier game against UConn, has 15 today. Jim Calhoun out near the middle of the court. Not happy. Jim Calhoun not happy with his team following that last timeout, and he let them know about it.
Well, look at Webb going down. Nobody's down there. Now you're up 20 points after that bucket. And there's the timeout. And look at Jim Calhoun in the middle. Now you tell me if this isn't a guy who's trying to get his team ready for the last 2 weeks of the season. That's one bucket. He realizes that, but there's a message being sent. That's the genius of Jim Calhoun on the sidelines. Maneuvering, working his players. And I'll bet you, Kenny, this team gets back on defense in the next 6 minutes of this basketball game.
Rutgers on a 13-2 run. Scarlet Knights have hit their last 6 from the field, yet they still trail by 20. Our defensive player of the game brought to you by Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
And once again, you look at the numbers stacking up. The best guy in the conference in terms of blocking shots and working the backside of the line with his teammates helping in front with the 3 blocks. Just really a factor, and also off the glass.
Webb bottled up, going away, but tripped. And Webb is called for his second. Only the 4th team foul called against Rutgers. Under 6 minutes to go. Connecticut will make this win number 17. They will host Notre Dame on Monday. Up next for Rutgers, Arkansas Monticello, ranked in the top 20 in Division II. They will visit the RAC on Wednesday. Kept alive by Villanova.
Who's that down there?
Waterstrap shaken up. He and Gay went down.
Yeah, couldn't tell. Gay went down first. Did he land on the back of Waterstrat's foot there? There's bodies all over the place.
Brian Thompson checks in for UConn. Villanova now with a double-double, his 9th of the year, with 19 points, 10 rebounds.
You take a look, 42-26, convincing in the paint. It's the team, Connecticut, with Rashad Anderson not here. Hopefully recovering quickly, but the presence that he has on the perimeter as their leading scorer.
And we were told that Anderson is improving.
Right. It's always good news for Husky fans.
Visited by the team yesterday in the hospital. Leading the Huskies at just under 14 points per game. Checked in to the hospital February 8th due to a skin abscess. But he is on the road to recovery, we are told. Under 5 minutes to go. Ricky Shields was not scored today. Shields is 0 for 6 from the field. Here's Webb from 3. Rebounded by Brown.
Well, Brown has had a nice game. Very, very consistent. Working the glass for his 5th rebound. Shooting the basketball well. 4 for 7 from 3 points. 16 points.
Shields and Doobie for Rutgers. Top 2 scorers for the Scarlet Knights. They average 28 a game combined. Tonight, 5.
Well, it's the lane and quickness of the perimeter Huskies that have really bothered them tonight with their shooting. Shields 0 for 6, as mentioned. Doobie 2 for 10.
And that has been the story of many games as of late. There's Boone.
That's the buzzer right there. Shot clock disappearing. Good call from Jim Haney, though.
Number 4 on Byron joins. So Boone will go to the line. Boston College leading by 4 late. Just over 6 minutes remaining in Chestnut Hill. 20 points now for Boone. His season and career high is 22.
He just does it really in almost a quiet fashion also. Involving around the glass. He really is reading Williams' drives to the basket and having a good understanding of what Williams is trying to do out on the floor.
Shields from 3. Ricky Shields with his first points of the game and the 250th three-point field goal of his career, extending his own school record.
One of the few times that Ricky Shields has gotten a clean look at the basket.
Connecticut by 19. They have led by as many as 31. Shot clock under 10. Villanova sets the pick for Brown. Denham Brown showing the nice touch. Now with 18 points.
We've seen varieties of Denham Brown, but that one with the basketball going to the floor is a nifty one.
Casada goes to the left hand and is rejected by Boone.
Shows you the quickness of Boone once again, traveling and through the middle of the floor with his 4th block.
It's UConn by 21. We'll be back. Welcome back. UConn leading Rutgers 82-61. Let's take a look now at our Pontiac game-changing performance.
Well, shooting the basketball is so important, and you see Denham Brown with his shots, long-range shooting, 4 of 7 from threes, put the ball on the floor, 5 rebounds, assists, everything working very well. A total of 18 points. Well, you might as well take a rest.
Scored 11 off the bench in the earlier game against Rutgers, but has been in the starting lineup now for 8 consecutive games and has 18 here tonight. Under 3 minutes remaining. Antonio Kellogg has checked back in for UConn as the foul is called on Manny Casada, his third.
His third, 16.
Jim, how do you see UConn matching up against some of the other top teams in the Big East come conference time? Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt, and the likes.
I think, you know, with the healthy Anderson, we're hoping that, and obviously Husky fans are hoping that he comes back. He gives them another look on the perimeter. I think this team is growing, so I think that they obviously compete and probably win against any of those top teams right now. But, you know, the other teams, Boston College, Syracuse, Pitt right now at the top of the Big East, all show different types of looks. Syracuse has a longer look. McNamara, solid player in the post. So there's different looks so they can stop the Huskies in certain points of their strength. And I think Pittsburgh is one of those teams that can do that also because they defend well down deep.
And come NCAA tournament time, always so tough to repeat. Everybody's gunning for the defending champion. Plus they lost 3 of their 5 starters, including 2 All-Americans.
We're doing fairly well at the next level, huh?
Yes.
Okafor and Ben Gordon stepping it up with the Bulls.
Okafor with the Charlotte Bobcats. Going to pull out of All-Star Weekend due to injury, but should return soon. Villanueva now with 21. And that matches the UConn lead. Substitution, Jason Beisch, senior out of Southbury, Connecticut, a former walk-on, checks in. And Villanueva sits down with 21 points and 11 rebounds. Jimmy English back in the game for Rutgers. Minute 20 left to play. Pressure in the backcourt from Shields, and Williams gets it across. Marcus Williams with 9 assists in the game tonight. 21 points for Boone and Villanueva. 18 for Denham Brown, 11 apiece for Rudy Gay and Marcus Williams. Casada commits his 4th personal foul. Sammy Mezion now in the game, senior out of France. Mezion checks in for UConn, replacing Marcus Williams. Does not even have his name on the back of his jersey.
Well, that's an interesting point. Not ready for prime time playing time yet, but he gets his opportunity tonight.
His 6th appearance of the year. Antonio Kellogg hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Cheryl Keating, sophomore out of Teaneck, New Jersey. He does not see a lot of playing time. Keating checks in for Rutgers, replacing Marquise Webb, who leads the Scarlet Knights with 15 points. Rutgers basketball as Ryan Thompson checks in for UConn. Rudy Gay sits down. So the 5 starters are on the bench for UConn as we play the final minute.
And Rutgers just wants to get that clock to disappear for them. And that type of night, shots have been contested. Even the reserves right now continue to contest the shots of the Rutgers players, and that's just the way Jim Calhoun demands perfection. Does he always get it? No, but he demands the opportunity to strive for it. It starts at the defensive end for this team.
UConn by 22, 85-63. They will up their record to 17-6, 9-3 in the Big East. Kellogg off the mark from 3. Keating stepped out of bounds. Rutgers will drop to 8-15. 2-11 in the Big East, and just 6 and 7 at home. They will match the most losses they have ever suffered here at the RAC. And they still have 2 home games remaining. The shot clock is off. And UConn will run out the clock. Jim Calhoun says no shot. Kellogg handles with 12 seconds. The Connecticut Huskies with their second victory of the year over Rutgers. UConn wins it by the score of 85-63.
Rutgers 63.
Jim Calhoun, Gary Waters get together. Another disappointing evening for Rutgers here at the RAC. 22-point victory for Connecticut.